Okay, let's dive into something pretty fundamental, something we're doing right now, actually, every second, often without thinking about it.
Breathing.
Exactly. Today, we're taking a deep dive into breath work. It's, well, it's getting huge in the wellness space. You can't really miss it.
hmm And we've got some interesting material here, specifically digging into excerpts from How to Breathe 25 Simple Practices for Calm, Joy, and Resilience.
Right. And our mission here isn't just to, skim the surface. We want to really pull out the core stuff.
Yeah, the key insights, the practical bits from this material, basically giving you a shortcut to getting properly informed about it, the foundations, the science behind it, and how wide-ranging it actually is.
And that range really jumped out, didn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, the source suggests it impacts everything from, like, heavy stuff like anxiety, trauma,
PTSD, depression, chronic pain.
all the way to boosting creativity, helping relationships, finding more joy. It's broad.
And you definitely get a sense of a personal story running through it all, shaping how these practices came about.
Absolutely. So, okay, foundations first. What is breath work, according to this material?
Yeah.
Like, at its simplest.
It's defined really simply. Breathing practiced with mindfulness.
That's it. Just paying attention to your breath.
Essentially, yes. And the power, the source argues, is its accessibility. I mean, your breath is always there,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
And its effectiveness as a natural way to approach healing and just being present for all those things you listed.
And it feels like it's moving beyond just being, part of yoga class. Science is looking at it now.
Yeah, that's a key point in the material. It mentions breath labs, like at Stanford actually researching this, and even tech, like the Spire app tracking breathing patterns.
Right.
It signals that, yeah, it's being seen as a serious practice in its own right.
It's funny, though, because it's so automatic, breathing, it's so easy to just ignore it.
Or dismiss it, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on, how can just breathing help my anxiety? It feels too simple.
Yeah, it won't do anything.
But that simplicity is maybe its strength.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, breath is, well, it's life.
Absolutely fundamental. The source gives that stark reminder, weeks without food, days without water.
But only a few minutes without oxygen.
Can't argue with that. And it's the hidden engine behind so many healing traditions, isn't it? Meditation, yoga.
Energetic medicine, yeah. The idea here is that paying attention to your breath is maybe the quickest way to shift how you feel, what you're thinking, even your vibration, as the source puts it.
And this isn't some new fad. The historical roots are deep.
Oh, incredibly deep. Across cultures. The material mentions the Greek psyche, life, and breath. Latin spiritus is breath and spirit.
Ah, the connection's right there in the words.
Yeah. Sanskrit prana for life force. Pranayama for breath control. Chinese qi. Indigenous traditions in Africa, South America. They all link breath to vital energy. It's ancient wisdom.
So breath work, the term might be modern, but the idea is ancient.
Yeah.
And now neuroscience is kind of validating it.
Exactly. The material points to research on specific nerve cells in the brainstem.
Okay.
And these cells directly link our breathing patterns to our state of mind.
So it's not just woo-woo. There's a biological connection.
A real mechanism. Change how you breathe, and you can actually change your thinking, your emotional state. And since our thoughts and feelings affect our whole body,
Working with the breath can have ripple effects everywhere.
yeah, a global effect, really.
Okay, let's get slightly technical for a second. The mechanics. How does breathing actually work? We know oxygen in, CO2 out, but this material zooms in on one muscle particularly.
The diaphragm, it's highlighted as the main engine of breathing.
Right, it's that big muscle under the lungs.
Yeah, deep inside, kind of a double-domed shape, separating your chest cavity from your abdomen. Often overlooked.
And the source uses that image,
Yeah.
like a jellyfish.
Yeah, I liked that. Visualizing it pulsing downwards on the inhale, pulling air in, then relaxing up on the exhale, makes it feel more alive.
It does. And it's not working in isolation, is it? It's connected to other organs.
Right, its movement affects and is affected by things like the liver, the heart. It's all interconnected down there. That's part of why breath has such a system-wide influence.
Okay, so connecting that anatomy to, well, to stress, which is, let's face it, a big deal for most people.
Yeah, you really can't talk breath work without talking about the autonomic nervous system, the ANS.
The body's automatic control system.
Pretty much, that brain-body communication highway mostly running on autopilot.
And it's got the two modes, the famous ones.
Exactly. You've got the sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight.
Gas pedal.
Right, stress hits, danger is perceived, and boom, adrenaline, cortisol, heart races, blood pressure up, ready for action.
And the other side.
The parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest.
Brake pedal.
Perfect analogy. Kicks in when you feel safe, calm, It slows the heart, lowers blood pressure, relaxes muscles, and slows your breathing.
Okay, and here's where the breath comes in directly, according to this material, when we're stressed or anxious.
That sympathetic system fires up, and our breathing changes predictably. It gets fast, shallow, often high up in the
Or
chest.
sometimes we just hold it, right?
Okay.
That freeze response, like when you brace yourself opening a scary email.
Exactly. And here's the kicker, the insight from the source. That restricted breathing feeds the feeling of stress. It keeps the cycle going.
It even makes this bold claim.
Hmm.
Anxiety and stress literally can't stick around in the same way if you consciously slow your breathing down.
Because you're interrupting their fuel source, that fast, shallow pattern. You're essentially hacking the loop.
And there's a specific link to heart rate, too.
Yeah, it's subtle but important. Your heart naturally speeds up a tiny bit when you inhale
Okay.
and gets a signal to slow down when you exhale. So the insight is, if you consciously make your exhale longer than your inhale.
You're sending a stronger calm down signal to your nervous system.
Exactly. You're manually engaging that rest and digest system. Even just a few breaths like that can shift things.
Which makes sense in modern life, right?
Mhm.
Constant emails, notifications, deadlines.
Our sympathetic systems are basically on high alert a lot of the time, chronically activated for many people.
So the material suggests most of us need to work on strengthening the other side, the parasympathetic.
That's the argument. Building that rest and digest muscle.
And this is why the exhale gets so much attention, especially for beginners.
Absolutely. Many people, especially under stress, either hold their breath without realizing it or have really short, weak exhales.
Right.
And the exhale is your direct line to the parasympathetic system. But the key insight here is it's not about collapsing or checking out.
It's about slowing down with presence.
Yes. It's an invitation to be present, not numb out. That conscious exhale helps reduce anxiety, grounds you, builds resilience.
And this connection between breath and feeling, it goes deeper into our emotions, doesn't it?
Definitely. The material draws a direct line between how you breathe and the sense of, like, spaciousness or freedom you feel inside your body.
Holding your breath makes you feel tight, constricted.
And that physical constriction affects your emotional capacity, your window of tolerance, they call it, how much feeling, intense or pleasant, you can handle comfortably.
Wider window with easier breath.
That's the idea. Deeper, easier breath, wider window.
The source gives that simple exercise. Just notice your breath when you think of frustration.
Yeah, probably gets shorter, tighter, maybe moves up in your chest.
And think of gratitude.
And notice how it softens, deepens, maybe drops lower. It's a really visceral way to feel that connection.
And this explains how unhelpful breathing patterns can become coping mechanisms, like
Yeah.
holding your breath to suppress feelings.
Exactly. Checking out, numbing. Those patterns can get locked in the body as tension, chronic pain, maybe even contribute to illness down the line.
Whereas learning to breathe more freely helps you feel more open, more capable of being yourself.
Right. And the diaphragm pops up again here in a slightly different context.
Oh, yeah.
In some more esoteric views mentioned in the source, it's seen as this divider between heaven, mind, spirit, and earth, the body.
Right at the solar plexus area, power center.
And because it tightens under stress, it's sometimes described metaphorically as like a lid.
Holding down emotions.
Repressed or suppressed feelings, experiences. So the insight is that breath work, by engaging the diaphragm, helps you process that stuff somatically.
Meaning in the body, not just thinking about it.
Yeah, feeling it through, releasing it physically.
That raises a really important point. The material addresses, what if just focusing on your breath makes you anxious?
That's a key signal, it suggests. It likely means your nervous system is already a bit dysregulated, maybe running on high alert.
So the advice isn't to force it.
No, definitely not. It suggests starting gently, ground yourself first, focus on your feet on the floor, your hands, the outer edges first.
Then, once you feel a bit calmer, maybe try bringing awareness to the breath.
Exactly. Make it feel safe first, then the breath can become an ally.
And what about trauma? Feeling overwhelmed seems common there.
Yes. The insight is that trauma isn't just a memory, it's stored in the nervous system. It shapes your physiology, your breathing patterns as a survival response.
So breathwork could potentially help access and maybe re-regulate that.
It can be a powerful entry point, yeah. Helping the nervous system find its rhythm again, potentially healing the root. And this is crucial in the material caution is needed.
Especially with certain kinds of practices or in groups.
Right. Particularly activating practices. If trauma is a big part of your picture, the source emphasizes pacing, self-compassion, and potentially getting professional support. The author even mentions developing specific trauma-informed methods, though the deeper ones aren't detailed in this particular book.
So it's powerful, but needs respect and care.
Absolutely. Breath is accessible, but the approach matters.
Okay, so let's say someone understands the basics, they're curious. How do you actually start? How do you build a practice?
The material starts with the why. Asking yourself, what's really drawing you to this? What's your motivation?
Getting clear on your intention.
Exactly. That clarity is presented as the fuel that keeps you showing up, especially when it feels hard.
An intention isn't quite the same as a goal.
Right. The source describes it as more like a North Star, a guiding energy focused on your inner state or growth, not necessarily a specific outcome.
Like, I intend to be more present versus I will meditate for 20 minutes.
Kind of, yeah. It suggests keeping it affirmative, clear. And there's a simple practice. Hand on heart, few breaths. Trust the first word or feeling that comes up. That's your intention for the session.
I like that.
Simple.
You can revisit it during practice, maybe journal about it after.
And just doing that, setting an intention, and breathing. It's framed as prioritizing yourself.
Yeah, the author calls committing to daily practice a revolutionary act, especially perhaps if you're conditioned to always put others first. It's a tangible way of saying my needs matter too.
Physically, what's the setup? Sitting, lying down.
All are options. Sitting up maybe on a chair, feet flat, is good for grounding. Standing works too. Lying down is often better for deeper relaxation or emotional work. Using pillows for support is encouraged, finding ease.
And the key seems to be consistency. Huge emphasis on consistency. The material shares this idea that, say, 30 minutes of consistent home practice can be as beneficial as a longer class. The message is practice often, even if it's short.
Start small. The author mentions starting with just 7 minutes.
Right. Because the nervous system learns by repetition. It's like learning an instrument you don't try twice and say, it didn't work.
Good analogy.
It's presented as a long-haul journey, learning to live in your body differently and framing it as self-care, not just another task.
But it doesn't have to be rigid. What if life gets in the way? Distractions.
Flexibility is encouraged. Let go of the perfect setup if you need to. If noise is an issue, use your own breath as the anchor. The source even suggests you can learn to change the volume on your breath to help focus your mind inward.
And you always have your breath with you. That's the ultimate portability.
Exactly. No equipment needed. Which leads to those mini practices for daily life.
Ah, yes, the portable ones. There were 3.
Yeah, really practical. The 5-breath grounding, nose inhale, mouth exhale, feet flat. Good for feeling scattered or stressed.
Right.
Then the 5-breath reset, long nose inhale, long mouth exhale, 5 times for when you feel overwhelmed emotionally or mentally. And the 5-breath alignment, paced breathing, counting 1 to 5 on the nose inhale, 5 to 1 on the nose exhale, 5 times. Great for a racing mind that needs focus.
Simple, quick tools.
Yeah.
What about nature? Does that help?
Described as a huge helper, especially for regulation. Just sitting against a tree, lying on the grass, connecting with those natural rhythms can really deepen the practice.
Journaling, too. Why is that recommended?
It helps track things, notice shifts, integrate the learning. Writing apparently helps sync up the brain and body, makes things more conscious.
Doesn't have to be complicated, though.
No, keep it simple. Just jot down what you notice after practice, changes, insights. You could even track brief notes during the day.
And finally, just consciously ending the practice.
Yeah, even a brief moment of acknowledgement helps integrate the benefits before you jump back into your day.
Okay, so that's the foundation. Now, let's get into some specific applications. The book has 25 practices. Let's sample a few to see the range. How about dealing with difficult emotions, like anger?
Right, there's the anger breath. It starts with a long inhale and then a quick, forceful exhale. Repeat a few times.
Forceful exhale for anger. Seems counterintuitive.
The insight is that it's meant to quickly interrupt that activated state, provide an immediate physical release. Then you shift into slower belly breathing, hand on belly.
So discharge, then regulate.
Exactly. Building that somatic memory, teaching your body how to find calm again when triggered. It's for the immediate moment, but also helps process underlying stuff.
Interesting. What about boundaries? There's a boundaries breath.
Yes, this one uses visualization. You imagine breathing in a sphere of golden light around you.
Okay.
And on the exhale, you kind of hold or solidify that sphere.
What's the insight there? Beyond just thinking about boundaries.
It's about making it physical, or rather, energetic. Establishing strength in your own system. Differentiating your energy from others. Feeling less like you're absorbing everything or responsible for everyone else.
So it's a body-based approach.
Right. And because it's somatic, the material notes it can sometimes stir up deeper things, maybe related to past experiences or trauma. Consistency is suggested, especially for people who feel easily overwhelmed by others' energy, like empaths.
Okay, how about clearing the head, feeling sluggish?
There's the cleanse breath. It's a modified, gentler version of a yogic breath called Kapalabhati. Focuses on sharp exhales through the nose, pulling the belly in slightly. Inhale is passive.
Sounds quite active, energizing.
It is. The idea is those sharp exhales help release stagnant energy, tension metaphorically, toxins, clears mental fog, wakes up the nervous system. But the source includes cautions, emphasizes this version is gentler.
Makes sense. And in our often disconnected world, there's a connection breath.
Yeah, this is a partner practice. You sit back to back with someone, partner, friend, kid.
Physically touching.
Yeah, back to back. And you just try to sync up your breathing through the nose for maybe 8 minutes or so.
What does that do?
The insight is it taps into this idea of a group nervous system. Shared rhythm is naturally regulating, healing. It's described as an antidote to isolation, apparently quite powerful, even after an argument, to rebuild connection.
Brings up stuff about giving and receiving, too, it mentioned.
Potentially feeling the shared breath.
Okay, how about intuition? Can breath help with that?
There's an intuition breath, and this one's unique in the book. It uses open mouth breathing for both inhale and exhale.
Why the open mouth?
The insight shared is that breathing through the mouth can be more opening for the energetic body. Helps you connect more directly to inner wisdom, access that less logical, more intuitive side of the brain.
So you breathe slowly, mouth open, and just listen.
Pretty much. Listen for body sensations, images, sounds, gut feelings. The material notes it might feel a bit weird at first, maybe slightly dizzying, and suggests giving it time, like 10 minutes for insights to surface.
Interesting. Let's switch gears, positive states. There's a joy breath. Sounds fun.
It is. It involves laughter and movement. You inhale deep, lift your arms up,
Okay.
hold the breath briefly, then exhale with laughter, real or fake, as you drop your arms.
Fake laughter. Does that work?
That's the insight. The body apparently doesn't know the difference. Whether the laughter is spontaneous or intentional, it triggers similar feel-good chemicals like endorphins.
So you can literally practice generating joy.
Yeah, switch your body chemistry on purpose. It's quick, effective, and apparently quite contagious if you do it with others.
Love that. What about letting things go, stuff we're holding on to?
The letting go breath, this is a standing one. Big inhale, arms go up overhead.
Right.
Then hinge forward at the hips with a big sighing exhale, letting everything hang loose.
Feels very physical, that release.
Totally. The insight is it's a tangible way to release energetic buildup tension from old beliefs, stories, stuck emotions. A concrete action, not just thinking about letting go, creates space. The author apparently uses it a lot.
I can see why. What about physical pain?
The pain relief breath. This tackles the tendency to tense up and hold breath around pain, which often makes it worse.
Yeah, you brace against it.
Right. So the insight here is to consciously breathe around the edges of the discomfort, not forcing breath into it, but creating space around it.
Softening the tension surrounding the pain.
Exactly. Staying present with it, but using breath to ease the secondary tension. It's portable, can be used for injuries, chronic pain, even childbirth, the source suggests. And it often brings up emotional layers connected to the pain, too.
Makes sense. And finally, a big one. Sleep. The sleep breath.
Designed for when you're actually in bed, trying to sleep. The key element is a pause.
Applause where?
At the very bottom of the exhale, just hold the breath out for maybe 3 or 4 counts before letting the inhale happen naturally.
How did that help sleep?
The mechanism explained is that this pause significantly slows the heart rate and strongly signals the parasympathetic system rest and digest to take over. Helps quiet that busy mind.
Might feel a bit weird at first if your breathing is usually shallow.
It might, yeah. Holding the breath out can feel vulnerable initially, but with practice, it's described as a powerful way to invite sleep.
Wow. Okay, that's just a sample. But it really shows the incredible range this material covers. Practices for grounding, grief, intimacy, resilience.
Yeah, it illustrates how breath connects to pretty much every aspect of being human.
And it's worth just briefly circling back to the author's own story here. This didn't come out of thin air.
No, absolutely not. Her journey, starting with seeking peace in rehab, moving from art and teaching into breathwork, it was driven by her own need.
A need to feel present in her own body after years of not feeling that way.
Exactly. The insight is that this work grew from lived experience, from exploring what actually helped her, which then fueled the passion to make these tools accessible for others.
A very personal foundation for it all. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you listening to this? I think it's that breathwork, while it sounds simple, is presented here as this really potent, accessible tool, and science is increasingly backing it up.
Yeah, it's a way to navigate challenges, manage your emotional state, connect more deeply with yourself and others, and actively cultivate well-being.
But it's a practice, right? Not a quick fix.
Absolutely. The material stresses that. It's a journey of learning, of discovery, one breath at a time, becoming more aware.
And maybe the final thought to leave you with, something the source really emphasizes. Your body has this incredible innate wisdom, this capacity to heal and find balance.
Right. When it's given the attention and support it needs. And choosing to consciously engage with your breath regularly with curiosity, well, that's maybe the most fundamental way to give it that support. It's an act of self-empowerment, really.